Hey everyone, it's Frankie-Lou.
And Angus?
And who is this?
Sinead.
This is Sinead, yes. She's one of our poultry princesses here on the farm. And
She likes to go into the garden and eat stuff.
yes.
So we're going to be talking about how we can prevent that from happening and how we can help your chickens.
Yes. So Angus and I have been living out here in the homestead for about 7 years now. And we decided to go in for chickens and ducks 6 years ago. And honestly, we've never looked back. It's something that we really, really enjoy and something we're really pleased that we do. But if you are considering chickens or ducks for that matter, there's a few things that you really should take into consideration when you're thinking about that, particularly here where we are in zone 3. It's not as easy as having, say, some backyard chickens in the city, but we believe it's worth it. So we thought we'd go over some of the things today, just in case you are thinking about chickens or ducks. Some things that we've learned through trial and error and heartbreak sometimes, and also some of the benefits we honestly didn't even realize that we get from our chickens and our ducks. So why do we have chickens? Why are you happy we have chickens?
Well, we get fresh eggs.
Yes.
I like to eat eggs instead of eating dinner because I'm a picky eater.
Yes, that was a benefit I didn't expect. This kid is a very picky eater, and I make a huge meal and he wouldn't eat anything, but I know he can go in the backyard, grab one of these, and I know he's eating healthy. He's having a good, healthy meal, and he can prepare it himself. It's a win-win. So the eggs that we get here are nothing like what you get at the grocery store. And we'll talk about why that is in a minute. What's the other reason, Angus? Well, I know for me, one of my main reasons that I'm so happy we have chickens and ducks.
We have friends and we have rototillers.
Yeah, they really are delightful. These chickens that we have here are heritage breeds, or I guess maybe the Easter Egger isn't a true heritage breed, but they're not broiler chickens, which are the chickens.
This one's a hybrid. She's part Easter Egger, part Amber. We don't know what Amber is.
Yeah, no, she's part Winnie. But we don't generally get broiler chickens, which are chickens that are strictly raised just for meat. They are ready to slaughter in 6 to 9 weeks. And we've had Sinead here for 5 years. So obviously not all chickens are broilers. She's more of an egg layer. And as Angus said, she's actually a great pet.
And a rototiller.
And she's great in the garden sometimes. We don't want her in the garden once we've actually planted all of our seeds, because a chicken can take out a whole 4x4 bed in a matter of half an hour when they really, really want to. But the rest of the time, like right now, as I'm preparing my beds, she comes in here and she has a blast. Okay. Another reason that people do get chickens is for meat. And like I said, you could do that. But when people ask me...
I'd never eat Sinead or Amber.
Yeah,
I might eat Latte.
No, we're pretty attached to these guys. We would never eat them, but there are breeds out there that are more
designed for meat.
Yeah, we have mostly Easter Eggers and Cochins here, and honestly, in terms of being hardy and being able to make it through our winters here, I highly recommend those two breeds. We have had very little hardship in terms of them not being hardy enough. We do a lot to make their life easier, but these little Easter Eggers are tough little birds, and the Cochins are as well.
They're adventurous.
They're
crazy.
They're crazy. They have an amazing personality. We have to keep an eye on this one. She's a little devil, but we do really love her.
There's a reason she has red on her head.
Yeah. The other birds that we highly recommend are runner ducks. We've had other ducks as well.
Yep.
But honestly, the runner ducks, for so many reasons,
Webster is a runner duck if you watch the Earth Day clip.
Yeah. They're lovely animals, and honestly, they're better layers during the winter. Chickens won't lay all year long unless you put false lighting in their coop to replicate spring and summer days. But the ducks, we were fine. They lay even sometimes in the middle of the cold winter.
Yeah.
So that's the really.
And duck eggs are delicious. You can eat them. People believe that they're toxic, but no, you can eat them. They're delicious.
Duck eggs are wonderful. This one here is a duck egg. And if you were to crack it open, you'd see that it's basically almost like having a double yolker egg. The egg's yolk is far thicker and larger. And I honestly, when I'm baking, this is all I use because they're amazing. Okay, so what are some of the things you need to think about if you are considering getting chickens, particularly here in a cold weather climate like we have? Well, the number one thing is a coop that is sturdy and really built for it. Our first year with chickens, we built a nice little pallet coop, and it was great till a bobcat broke in and ate four of my best friends. So
except for Amber.
yeah, so we have a coop that honestly could withstand a hurricane at this point, and there's a reason for that because it's insulated to retain the heat. We do accumulate in there in the winter. I've designed it with a shaker style roof with greenhouse polycarbonate windows to capture the sunlight, to capture the heat. It's got a double door on it, and a pop door for the chickens. It's designed to keep them safe. And honestly, if you're going to have chickens in this kind of climate, you can't cheap out. So they're maybe
this was about
$1,000.
Yeah, $1,000.
Yeah, about $1,000 to build it. We've had it now for 5 years, and it's great. It's standing up, and it'll probably still be standing another 5 years from now. So it's been worth that investment to us. Another thing you need to consider is heat. They are a lot hardier than we give them credit for, and I know that I'm agonizing about them when they're not worried about it at all. But this size of coop, which is 6 by 8, I believe, inside, we can heat fairly well through most of the cold winter days with two 175-watt light bulbs.
And one small little cheap space heater.
We have a cheap space heater that we put in there when it gets to minus 30, right? Because it's pretty cold. It's pretty darn cold, and I don't want them to suffer. Now, another thing that we have, and I'm constantly checking throughout the day during the winter, is I keep a remote sensor in there. Yeah.
It was about
$40.
Yeah. It works so there's a little sensor in there.
Mm-hmm.
It goes in the chicken coop, and then there's a control panel thing that will tell you how hot it is, and if you want it to, it will go off at a certain temperature when it gets below or above.
Yeah. So I keep it on my bedside table, and it's set to go off as an alarm. If it goes too cold, the alarm goes off. If it gets too hot, the alarm goes off, because sometimes this coop can actually get super hot with these glass windows, the polycarbonate windows there.
Yeah, don't use glass.
And so we do keep that so that I can, because if we have a power failure in the middle of the night and it goes below 30, those chickens will die if I don't.
It's battery operated.
Yeah, exactly. So that if there is a power failure, that remote temperature sensor lets me know what I need to worry about with my chickens.
And also, if there's a fire in there, it will get too hot.
Yeah, if there's fire in there, I doubt that'll happen. Another thing that you need to think about is food. We feed our girls really, really well. Actually, to the point where I've worked it out that my ducks and hens cost me about $5 a month per bird. And if you consider that a free-range duck or chicken egg is going to, run you $5 to $6 a dozen, I'm feeding them about half of what their value would be, but it's worth it for us because I'd easily spend that on a pet that I love, and I also get these great eggs. We create a very beautiful blend for them. They're very spoiled, but we love them. So, and they get our greens from when I'm making dinner. I always save them my greens, and they know it. They hear me coming, and they're pretty excited to see me every day. Another thing that you want to consider is safety. We have a lot of predators out here, and we have lost birds to bobcats. There's lots of hawks around here, weasels, things that'll take them out. So we have fencing that I built out of pallets. We have netting, and we have the sturdy coop. Now the netting got pulled down recently. Well, not recently. At the beginning of winter, the snow was so heavy it pulled it down. So as soon as the ground's a little softer, I'm going to reconfigure this whole outer coop and redo the netting so that they're protected from the birds. We make sure that we don't let them out of the coop until about 10, like long, because we find that when the predators are strongest and running around the most is early morning and early evening. So I try to get them in around 6 or 7 at night and don't let them out till 10. And just even doing that makes a huge difference, because the most times that the bobcats have come have been in either before 10 a.m. or around 6 p.m. is when they tend to come. So that's just something that we started to do. Now the other thing that we do to contain them is we're going to demonstrate right now, because this little Sinead,
Okay.
Sinead is a little devil.
She likes to go into the garden?
Yeah, she's extremely smart, and she can almost fly. She's a small bird.
Yes.
And she can almost fly. So
yes, she can jump this high.
She can jump like
Unless
really high.
we do this.
So we have developed, and talking with my sister last year, we developed this new technique where we used to clip both of her wings. And then she learned how to still use her wings, what was left of them, to get up. So now
to get it less balanced, to make them fly in a twisted circle.
So she can't figure it out. We actually have
clip one.
We clip one of her wings. So when you're clipping the chicken's wings, it's critical that you don't go too deep, right? So I would rather clip them more often and not harm her and not go to the quick than clip her, once. So if you look on the underside, basically, can you hold the scissors for a sec? You can see, oh, she knows what's happening. She's not happy. She's going to be really grumpy with me after this, but she'll be okay. It won't hurt her. So I don't like to clip any further. I clip, so if I feel under here, I can feel where the flesh starts, and I clip basically, I find that these are a really good guide where the little short feathers end. Yeah, and we're just going to, oh, I know she's mad at me now. Angus, she's really mad at me now. She knows, oh, I can't break into the greenhouse anymore. Yeah. You naughty girl.
You're going to have to eat normal chicken food, not plants.
No, she's okay. So she's going to look a little butchered there in terms of how she looks. But it works, and it keeps her safe, and it also keeps the garden safe. So I guess to recap, what we're going to tell you is having chickens is wonderful, and having ducks is wonderful. And we'll talk more about ducks because that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Their needs.
So for example, when she would fly,
yes,
her wings and what's left of the other wing.
If you look now, she's going to be unbalanced when she tries to fly.
And she's going to spin this way and make circles.
Yeah,
and it's going to get so.
But she'll be okay. All right. Let her go now.
She's trying to flap her wings.
So to recap, what we want to say is chickens are definitely worth the effort. But
no,
don't. She's eating a dead mouse right now. Yeah.
Oh, you're so wrong.
But Angus, calm down. So, and the circle of life spins really quickly out here at the homestead. Angus, I don't think Angus would be the kid he is today if he didn't have chickens. I really think as a parent that it helps him to learn a lot about life. And she's eating a dead mouse. Yeah, okay.
I thought chickens were herbivores.
No, they're not.
Well, if you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. And get chickens.
Well, only get chickens though if you're willing to put a lot of work into it. Here, they are worth it though, wouldn't you say, Angus?
Yep.
I don't think we could ever be without chickens again.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But if you have any questions about it, just let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.